We've long suspected it, all of us watching this show, and now that the government data has proved that soaring immigration is making all of us worse off. Plus, despite pledging to end asylum hotels, today the Labour Party admitted they will rely on them at a cost of £8 million every single week for another, wait for it, 3 years. Will our politicians ever take back control of our borders? It's a question I've put many times to my next guest, and that's Dr. Mike Jones, the Executive Director of Migration Watch. Welcome to the show, Dr. Jones. Here we are again. It's Groundhog Day, but this time we knew it, we suspected it, your data's been showing it. Now the official data proves it. ONS data, GDP per capita is going down. The more people coming into the country, the worse our living standards get. Tell us more.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, the idea that immigration boosts the economy and that the more you pump into the system, the larger your economy grows is a complete misconception. I mean, listen, if you increase your population size, you're going to increase GDP, but that's not a true measure of wealth. Ultimately, it's GDP per capita. I mean, for example, during the Thatcher years, GDP per capita rose between 1980 to 1990 by 29%. The Thatcher government had very little net migration. Some years it was negative, other years it was slightly positive. But ultimately, the reason why the Thatcher government increased growth in the economy was due to her domestic policies, investment in the population, deregulation of certain aspects of the economy, and ultimately sort of investments in skills and how the economy actually functions in terms of finance and capital regulations. But today's statistics basically debunk the idea that, embracing this policy of human quantitative easing, where you simply just, have more boots on the ground, increases growth, real growth per capita, that's a complete fallacy.
And that's the first failure in the news today, Mike. The second one, of course, is this idea that the Labour Party said, we're going to end asylum hotels, but they can't. They simply can't do that. In fact, it's now going to continue for another 3 years. Who are they blaming for this?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, in the UK, it's illegal to allow asylum seekers to be destitute. So if somebody applies for asylum, you have to house them. Hotels were the first option because obviously this doesn't put pressure on the private rental market, but it imposes a huge cost on the taxpayer. And obviously, if you move them into the private rental market, which is what's happening now, then that's going to have a knock-on effect on British citizens in terms of their rents. There's no way around this unless you actually start deporting people. That's the key thing. Asylum policy, or I should say illegal migration policy, ultimately comes down to whether you can deport people. If you can't, then you're racking up the burdens on the taxpayer, on British society, and on social cohesion. And the Labour Party, I'm afraid, they have a few good ideas. They want to fast-track deportations to safe countries. I agree with that. But they have no policy for people who arrive from unsafe countries, or should I say countries deemed unsafe by the human rights authorities. They've mothballed Rwanda. They have no intention of amending the Human Rights Act. They have no policy on the European Court of Human Rights. Yeah, it's going to get worse, and
it's interesting. And it's interesting, Mike, there's data out today about the council house waiting lists, and the Labour councils will be housing 4 times as many asylum seekers as the Conservative councils. And of course, there are a lot more Labour councils now coming to a street near you soon. Dr. Mike Jones, thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you.